Guys, for this month, we have dropped Murdered Midwest subscription to only $5.
That's over 30 bonus content episodes that include famous serial killers.
Like John Wayne Gacy and BTK.
And famous cases like O.J. Simpson, John Benet Ramsey, and Gypsy Rose.
And once you sign up, you'll get access to all of those episodes.
As well as like a new episode every Friday.
And the fastest way to sign up is by going through the link on our Instagram bio.
Click the subscribe to Murder Midwest and watch those locks disappear.
We really appreciate your subscription and your support. Thanks, guys. Johnny, question for you.
Yeah.
If I was somewhere in Kokomo and it wasn't our house and it wasn't the flower shop, where would I be?
Easy. Humble home.
Yes, you're right. You guys, listen up. Humble Home is my absolute favorite place to be for so many reasons. No matter what I am looking for, I always check Humble Home first. Clothes, shoes, toys, decor, furniture, makeup, they literally always have something that I need. They have brand name items for cheap. Their inventory is constantly changing, so it's part of my weekly routine to do a Humble Home walkthrough. You absolutely need to stop by. I promise you won't be disappointed. While it is a discount store, it's not your average discount store. It's clean, organized, and everything has its place. I get zero anxiety when I go in, unlike other discount stores. And no matter what you're shopping for, a home project, gifts, home decor, even seasonal decor, they will have it. They are open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday from noon to 5. You can follow them on Facebook at Humble Home Kokomo and watch for new items every single day. And for our Lafayette, Indiana listeners, I have exciting news. They're opening a second location in Lafayette soon. As soon as I have the details, I will let you know their opening date. Get excited.
This is Jonathan Keith, and you're listening to Missing Midwest, a true crime podcast about those that have gone missing. Today's story is about a college athlete who went missing the month she was set to audition for American Idol. Her body has never been found. Someone knows something.
Hi.
Hey. Man, doing all right over there?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
We just got done with Murdered. We recorded the Murdered one first today, and it was a good one.
It was a good
Out
one.
in Iowa again. We've just been cranking out the Iowa cases.
Is getting a little sketchy. It's getting up there on my list of places. Oh, it's thundering. Do you hear that?
A little bit of thunder in the background.
It's
Makes it more dramatic.
Setting the dramatic mood for the Missing Midwest. Iowa's getting up there on my list of places maybe to like not visit / watch your back if you do. Because I've done one too many cases there.
The only place in Iowa I've ever been is Davenport. There was a team,
and
St. Ambrose.
It's like 30 seconds into Iowa, isn't
it?
You're like, whoop, I'm here, and now I'm gone.
Cool. But yeah, we would play football in college. There was a team there, St. Ambrose. We'd play against them.
Yeah, I remember that.
Long drive on a bus for sure.
Yeah. I drove all the way out there to watch you play football.
Thanks for doing that.
It was so much fun. Clearly, I remember everything about that trip. I don't. Did you play?
I did.
Did you win?
We did not.
Did you throw a touchdown?
I did well.
You know exactly how many touchdowns you threw,
I
don't
threw
you?
4 touchdowns.
I was going to say, don't act like you don't know exactly. You probably know how many touchdowns you threw in that game, how many yards.
Like, listen, my talent, like, when God made Jonathan, he was like, you get to throw footballs. And that was really cool for like 10 years, and now nobody cares. Yeah. Kayla is so talented with all the art crap she does that she gets to do her talent like every week, and that's fun for her. But, like, for me, I just have...
So you just cling on to those 10 years and remember every stat. So tell us.
I'm a numbers guy. Relax.
You threw 4 touchdowns in the Iowa game, and how many yards was it? Because I know you know.
I don't remember the yards.
Really?
I don't remember the yards.
I'm impressed. I'm shocked, actually.
Anyway. If we won or lost, how many touchdowns? Sorry.
We lost? Do you know the score of the game?
I believe it was 35-28.
Oh, my gosh. How many years ago was that?
I mean...
One game in Iowa, how many years ago? Do you know the score?
It would have been...
I don't even
10
know.
years ago.
Yeah?
It was 10 years ago.
I don't even know what I did.
Jeez, my last
a week ago.
season as a quarterback was 10 years ago.
We're old, Johnny.
That's tough. That's tough to handle.
We're old.
That's tough.
We're 30. I told somebody I was 30 the other day, and my mom was like, Kayla, you're 31. And I was like, I am?
Brutal.
But in my defense, I was 4 days postpartum and very, very much in the height of the anxiety of having a baby that was born 6 weeks early when I turned 31.
I'll give it a pass.
So I don't remember
I'll give it a pass.
But this is what we do now that we're 30. We do a true crime podcast, and we're gardening now.
Yep.
We have a very crazy life. Somebody just told me that we needed a camera crew to follow us around.
Yeah, because Kayla let a mouse bite her last night.
I did get attacked viciously by a mouse last night.
Because,
it wasn't his fault. And also I found out it wasn't a mouse.
We're putting this...
It was a shrew.
A timer for 30 seconds for this story. Our cat came in the house with a shrew, whatever, and I told Kayla to get a dustpan so I could get it outside because I thought it was dead. Kayla took 9 minutes to go get the dustpan. And then she came in there, and we was trying to scoop it up. And it was like running around the floor.
First of all,
and then Kayla picks it up, and she was like, "Oh, look how cute it is!" And it bit her finger.
First of all, you are glossing over the fact that you are terrified of mice, and you were not in the least bit that calm. And it appeared to be dead. And so I put a Walmart sack on my hand, and I was going to do the little flip thingy, like when you pick up like poop or something, and you like flip it inside out, you know? And as soon as I grabbed the little thing, it woke up and it started squirming around. So then I took the opportunity to I just looked. I mean, it was in my hand, so I looked at it. And it was so cute.
Remember you being like, "Oh, look how cute it is!"
Because he had little ears and a little nose, and he was cute. But then he did bite me, and it bled.
If Kayla starts talking nonsense, she's got the shrew fever from shrew bites.
I did message my doctor, and they said that I don't have rabies, but they gave me a prescription because they said they carry diseases, and I needed to take medicine.
Yeah, you do. You need to take medicine for a lot of things. We're over our 30 seconds.
I think that's a little much to take medicine because you got bit by a mouse. Please. Anyway, and I think people think that we have this crazy life, and I think we just overshare. I bet this stuff happens to everybody, and they just don't share it like we do. I would like
to know how many weird things, like you broke your foot or you broke your leg walking out of our front door.
People, I just don't know. That happens to people.
I don't know anybody else.
But because they don't tell people, it's embarrassing.
That's fair.
And so I think that these things we overshare.
That's true.
And so we go, you need a camera crew to follow you around, and I don't think that's true.
Well, let me share about my case now.
Okay. Do you have any announcements?
I do. Subscriptions are $5. There's over 30 hours of bonus content and counting. More coming every single week. Start that subscription and email us your address, and we will send you some stickers.
The last 2 murdered episodes have been in Iowa.
That's true. So if you know people in Iowa, first
warn them.
Keep tabs on them, and then tell them to listen to us because we got some stuff going on in Iowa.
Somebody broke into my car this week.
Yep, that's another story.
You guys,
we can't do another story.
I'm going to do another story because this is crime related.
Oh, man.
It's crime related.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I don't remember what day it was, but somebody knocked on the door, which instantly I'm like, nope, I don't like people coming to my house. But I opened the door, and there was this man. Weird vibes right off the bat, so I didn't unlock the screen door part, and I was just like, what do you want? And he had a picture of my house from the air, from Google Earth, and he asked me if I wanted...
He said it was a drone.
He said it was a drone, but it was totally Google Earth, and he asked me if I wanted to buy it, and I was like, no. If I wanted a picture of my house, I would take it myself. And he was like, so you're just not interested at all? And I was like, no. And he said, not just you don't like the concept? And I was like, I don't want a picture of my house. Goodbye. And I closed the door. And he went out to his car. And then he stayed in our driveway for 10 minutes.
I watched it the whole time.
Yeah. And so then he left. We didn't get a license plate. We didn't.
I was ready for the license plate.
To be honest with you, I couldn't even tell you the make, model, or color of the car he drove. That's how unaware I am and how bad of a true crime podcaster I truly am.
I will say, when he backed out, I was ready. I memorized numbers. I memorized numbers.
So why didn't you?
He backed out and turned the other way and then drove the opposite way. So I couldn't even see. I never saw license plate.
Totally forgot about this guy. I was like, whatever. The next morning, I get in my car and I drive myself to work, and I stopped at the Mickey D's for my caramel frap, and I got to the window and I opened my wallet and it was completely empty. My ID, my credit card, my debit card, my cash, everything was gone.
Maybe we shouldn't just tell people that you leave your wallet in their car.
Well, I don't anymore, so.
There you go.
And so, I called Johnny and I was like, did you take my cash and my cards? And he was like, why would I do that? And I was like,
that was true.
Good point.
She was like, well, no, it wasn't did you? It
no,
was
I was accusing you.
It was why did you take the cash and all my cards out of my wallet? I was like, Kayla, why would I do that?
Yeah, so it was a really bad morning once I realized what had happened. I didn't get my caramel frap, but then I got to work, and Johnny's dad, he works with me, and he brought me a caramel frap and my pancakes, so I felt better. But
Shout out to Pops.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff.
Taking care of it.
But still, and so I had to file a police report, In which case the police were like, was your car locked? And I was like, no, sir, my car was not locked. It was in my driveway. And he just kind of like sat there in silence. And I was like, that does not give it the excuse to some low life to come into my property and take my wallet out of my car.
I agree with you thoroughly. Can I tell my story now?
It was just very annoying. It was very annoying. So lock your cars, take your wallet inside. Apparently this is a thing. The cop said that, especially like out in the country, people just be walking around checking doors. He said they'll check car doors and barn doors. And if it's unlocked, they're going to take your stuff because people suck. And I think it was that guy. I think it was the picture guy.
Yeah, that's my bet too.
Yeah.
All right, can I tell my story now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
Did you know the Jefferson House of Flowers has been a local Kokomo florist for almost 100 years? Our trained designers make beautiful arrangements for literally any occasion. You can send flowers for any reason. Birthdays, anniversaries, get well, congratulations. The list goes on. We make flowers for funerals, weddings, proposals, and even proms. Let's be honest. Receiving flowers, whether you're at home or at work, it makes you feel special. You get butterflies and you feel loved, and that's what sending flowers is all about, the feeling it creates. Call us at 765-452-8269 and let us create something special and send it out for you. Or you can stop in and see us at 4300 West, 100 North Kokomo. We always have a cooler full of flowers that are ready to go, as well as a boutique full of gifts. Shop local, support local, and send flowers.
Today we're going to Indianapolis, Indiana. We have been there a bunch of times, plenty of Dollar Generals. We're talking about a 22-year-old college athlete, a runner for Eastern Kentucky University, Molly Dattilo. She was actually from Madison, Indiana, and was spending the summer.
Didn't we do a case of Madison?
I don't remember.
No.
Madison, Wisconsin?
No, maybe, but I think our very first episode, Rebecca.
Maybe.
I think they lived really close to Madison.
That might be true.
I've definitely talked about Madison in our episodes before.
Yes, that's where she was from. But she was actually spending the summer in Indianapolis living with her brother. She was taking online classes at IUPUI, which I remember taking like summer classes at IUK, even though I went to Taylor University.
Yes.
Sometimes it's just easier to do that way. And so she had actually just turned 22 while she was in Indy there. Her birthday was on June 13th, which is actually just a couple days before this episode is to be posted. So yeah, she would be 41 now.
Okay.
On July 6, 2004, so this is that summer, she went to class as usual. She never missed. July 6th was actually like the last day that you could drop a class without there being a penalty. So she did do that. But other than that, I dropped classes. Everybody drops classes sometimes.
Oh, yeah. It's like a thing. That's why they have the date. That
yeah,
you can
exactly.
do it before and it'd be fine.
Exactly. She was known as a very good student. She was known as a very good runner. She was also known as a very good singer. That summer, American Idol was going to be in Indianapolis in August.
I loved American Idol.
And that was like peak American Idol. Like early 2000s.
Well, there was a time when it was like, you had to be home.
Yeah.
Because American Idol was going to be on.
You couldn't just watch
with
it
your
on Hulu.
parents and my siblings and my parents. I was like, okay, yeah, we might have practice tonight and then we have to run to church, but like we're definitely going to be home in time for American Idol.
I never really cared about American Idol until you and I started dating and you guys would watch it. And then my sister and my mom really got into it like during the Scotty McCreery years.
Who wasn't into it during the Scotty McCreery years?
All right. Anyways. So yeah, it's July. We're going back to July 6th. All right. So she goes to class. After class, she went to a couple stores, picked up a couple things, like kind of just near IUPUI. Like we've been down there. There's stuff everywhere. And so she went to a couple stores, and then she walked over to a Wendy's, and she was going to put a job application in, just like for the summer. Okay. She was there until she'd go back to Kentucky in the fall. While she was walking to turn the job application in, she actually ran into somebody she knew. It was one of her brother's friends, and she kind of just talked to him for a couple minutes. And then she walked to the Wendy's and turned that application in around. She turned it around 7. So like, as police go retracing her steps, they talk to different people that come forward, say they knew her. This guy's like, they're sure it was at 7 o'clock that she turned the application in. All right. So then later that night, there was a party I believe it was in the same apartment complex that her brother lived in. The reports that I read, the party was in Westlake Apartments. Her brother lived in Westlake Apartments. But it was like a huge apartment complex. So it might not have been like necessarily right next to where he lived, but it's like the same vicinity. And so, you know, she goes to this party. There are more, you know, people her age, other college students, whatever, IUPUI students, just friends. I don't really know a lot of people there though. And in the Westlake Apartments, they're on like the west side of Indianapolis. It's pretty much right in the middle between the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the Indianapolis Airport. Okay. So like it's like a few miles in between. So yeah. And so like if you're familiar with Indianapolis, like you're not that far away from downtown in these apartments, but you're also like you'd have to drive there. Like you couldn't just yeah. So anyways, IUPUI is like more towards downtown, so you have to like drive to the Westlake Apartments. You're not just walking there. So later that night, like I said, the party, having a good time. She meets a couple different people that she doesn't know, and it is at this party that she meets John E. Shelton. This was like I said, a big apartment complex. So there's, you know, a lot of apartments, as well as like, you know, the playgrounds, the basketball courts, and there's like a little retention pond in the middle. And you could actually go out and like get on a rowboat in this retention pond. So she meets John Shelton, and he's like, hey, would you like to go, you know, out here and rowboating? I'm just picturing Kayla's face if I were to ask if she wanted to go rowboating with me. We tried canoeing one time.
If you asked me now after 10 years of marriage, tell you yes. If I just met you,
no chance.
It's also a hard no.
Yeah, moving on after that one, I would imagine. But yeah, like I said, we tried canoeing one time when we were at church camp. And we were engaged at the time. It's amazing that we stuck it out after that.
We almost didn't make it through that trip.
We almost literally didn't make it. Like, we got lost and fell behind. Like,
I was going to say, not because we were mad at each other, because everybody left us and we couldn't even keep up. Probably because I wasn't actually rowing.
I guess. That was probably a big factor. So they go rowboating. And rowboating? Did I say that right? Rowboating. There we go. And so when they get done, they did what a lot of college students do when they want to keep hanging out, like we always did in college. What did we do? We went to...
got food.
Yep. We went to Steak and Shake most of the time when we were in college.
Or donuts.
We went to Dirty Dan's Donuts as well. But yeah, they actually went to Taco Bell. That's what my brother and I did. Like when we were in high school, if we wanted to keep hanging out or whatever, do something fun, we went to Taco Bell. So they do the rowboating, and then they go to Taco Bell, which I get it, you know, college. So I don't know how long they were at Taco Bell. I think they were able to verify that they did definitely go to Taco Bell. The next thing that happens here is weird because it's at 11 p.m. 4 hours. Like a lot has happened in 4 hours. Molly makes a phone call from a payphone at a gas station to one of her friends.
Okay.
What's weird about this gas station is that it's like on the other side by like a couple miles of the apartment complex. So they went to Taco Bell. Then he drove her past the apartment complex and ended up going to a gas station. Like, why?
For no reason.
I mean, he doesn't have a good reason.
Did they ask him?
Oh, we'll get there. But, so, again, Taco Bell, next thing we know, they're at a gas station on the other side of the apartment complex. He had to drive past the apartment complex, and she's making this call from a payphone. Now, again, this is a 22-year-old girl.
Why did
she has a cell phone.
That's what I was like. Why?
Why are they using the payphone?
Yeah. Are we sure that he was with her?
Yes. This is his story.
Okay.
And then the girl, she called one of her friends. Yeah. And that girl was like, yes, I got a call at 11 o'clock from a payphone. So verified, John tells police that he heard this, that he saw her make this phone call at this gas station. The friend says she got a phone call from Molly at 11 o'clock, but as soon as she answered, the call like dropped.
Okay.
And so that is the last that we hear of Molly.
Wow.
Like, okay. That's it. So Taco Bell gas station. We do not know why she went to this gas station. I feel like if she needed something, they could have just, like, if she wanted to make a call, why didn't they stop by and get her phone? Because they eventually find all of her stuff at her apartment. Her car was back at the apartments. Her wallet, her phone, literally everything.
So she didn't have her phone. It was at home. So maybe she needed to make a call. So she told him to stop so she could.
I mean,
but, like,
yes.
Why didn't he have a cell phone?
And why didn't she take her stuff with her? Like, if you were going to go to Taco Bell, you were in the same apartment complex, like, why wouldn't you be like, hey, can we go get my stuff? Like, if we're leaving.
I mean, unless they stopped at home, like, before Taco Bell.
So the other thing is, she doesn't know this guy. Like, she met him that night. And by all accounts, she seems like a smart girl. So, like, not taking your cell phone when you're going out with somebody that you just met, like that, I don't really buy that. You know, like, it's a weird situation.
But I could see, like, they were at this party, she meets this guy, they go on this little romantic rowboat ride, and then they maybe go back to her apartment or, like, hook up. And that's how all her stuff got there. And then he's like, you know, they're hungry. It was a good makeout session. And so they're like, let's run to the Taco Bell. And she just, like, didn't take her stuff because they were just going to run and get food and come back.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously things didn't work out for her.
Obviously.
You know, so it's
but, like... But the other option would be somebody else brought her stuff back there. That doesn't make sense either.
And that's a theory. That's a theory. Because, yeah, so as the time goes on, like, her brother that night, when she doesn't come home, he's not really that worried about it because she's in college. She would go to parties and then, like, stay with friends or whatever. Like, this wasn't... I mean, she's 22. Mm-hmm. So it's like he didn't really think anything of it. Next day he gets up, goes to work, not really worried about it at all. July 7th, the next day, when she's not home that night, now he's like, now wait a minute, like, she hasn't told me anything. That's when he starts calling the friends, like the friend groups, like, hey, have you seen her? You know, and so it's actually not until July 8th that she is reported missing.
Okay.
One of the best decisions I've ever made for myself is something I never thought I would do. You want to know my secret? Hiring a cleaning company. Like, who does that? I never thought I would say that I'm going to have my house clean for me. But in this season of life, with young kids and sports and work and side hustles, I had to decide how I wanted to spend my free time, and cleaning was not on that list. Stanley Cleaning Company has given me my free time back. They come once a month, and they sweep and mop my entire house and clean my bathrooms for me, and let me tell you, it is my favorite day of the month. Coming home to a sparkling clean house and knowing that I just saved 3+ hours of my time to spend with my kids is such a mental health game changer for me. It doesn't matter who from their team comes, they leave my house shining. And the best part is it's affordable. Christine offers an a la carte menu. You can do a general or a deep cleaning, just a sweep and a mop. You can do once a month or every week, a spring cleaning or a pre-party clean. She even has a postpartum mom clean that happens while you're in the hospital having your baby, and I can attest to that. It is amazing. Give them a call today for a free quote, and I promise it will be the best self-care you can imagine. You can find them on Facebook at Stanley Cleaning Company, or you can give her a call or a text at 765-860-3606.
So the brother obviously does this. She's 22. What do you think the police say?
Probably she's over 18 and she can do what she wants and she'll be back soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course they did.
The quote from the police. This is not a good look for police. We support the police. I hope that no policeman ever says this ever again to a family. Okay. The quote was, "This is not a priority."
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
How could you ever say that to somebody who's missing a family member?
Yeah. And at this point, the brother's freaking out because he's found all of her stuff. Like, at first, he didn't,
it might not be your priority, but don't say that. It's their priority. Like,
yeah. And the brother was freaking out. Yeah. Because, like I said, he found all her stuff. So, like, at first it was like, she's not home, whatever. Like, he didn't, like, necessarily go looking for evidence in her room. And then it's like, wait, that's her phone. Wait, her wallet's still here. Like, all these things. So then it's like, the family is now, like...
Now it's sketchy.
Very concerned. Why is all of her stuff here and she's not? Like, contact solution. I mean, there's everything that she needs on a daily basis was at the apartment, including her car.
So where's John? Have they have to start talking to John? Well, do the police ever take him seriously? How long does it take?
30 days.
Oh my gosh.
It was 30 days before the police actually go and talk to John. 30 days. There was no, like, news report about this. Like, it was 30 days before people, I mean, the family is obviously doing their thing, but, you know, I mean, 2004, like, Facebook, I don't even know, I mean, things didn't go viral on Facebook in 2004.
I cannot imagine, like, losing a family member and the police not helping you when they're supposed to be the ones that you go to for help.
Yeah.
And then being like, nah, we're busy. That's insane.
The police, when they come back around in 30 days, they're like, oh yeah, this is a big problem that all of our stuff is still at the house and that it's been here this whole time. Like she's gone. Like, that's what we said. Yes, exactly. They were alarmed on day one, you know, and so now that it's been 30 days later, now they go talk to John. Now they're talking to John. They don't like that conversation with John. There has been no like public, like, this is what we learned when we talked to John. I have a
million questions for him.
There has never been like a release of what he told police. But I know that the police checked the pond, and there was actually 2 ponds on the apartment complex. So like the police checked the pond for Molly. So whatever this conversation with John they had, they didn't like it, and it led them to checking for bodies. So that's a problem.
But I mean, his story is he met her at a party.
Took her rowboating, Taco Bell. Then he took her
to a gas
home.
Station.
He doesn't have a good, and they never released this, but he doesn't have a good explanation as why they drove past the apartment complex to use a payphone, and then he took her back home.
When you point blank ask this man's like, why were you at this gas station? Why did she need to call her friend? Like, I want to know his answer.
Yeah, they don't tell us that.
Okay.
But I just can't think of any good reason to drive past her apartment so she can use a payphone and then drive.
Just driving around, and if that's the case, just say it. But like,
but it was
there's
like
a reason.
But it was like 2 miles away from her apartment.
Yeah.
So like, just drive her home. If she's trying to call for help or she needs to call somebody, like, take her home.
Yeah.
Very weird. Yeah.
I wonder if they had like security footage or anything from that gas station. Like, did she seem okay?
Or the apartment complex, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it sounds like a big apartment complex. I'm sure there was some kind of security in 2004.
Yeah, did he actually drop her off? Like,
yeah, I mean, there's no concrete evidence on any of that. Again, maybe if you looked into that day 1 or 2 after it happened instead of day 30, we could have got some of those things.
Really?
But yeah. The police do not believe that he took her back to the apartment that night. So maybe they could get security. I don't know. Like, they have said they do not believe that he took her back to the apartment that night. But, you know, like I said, no public releases, but they have listed John and his dad, Ed Shelton, as persons of interest in this case.
His dad?
His dad.
Why? So
I found nothing that is any legit evidence from any news source, but you know how it is when we dive deep into like the Reddit and stuff like that.
I love a good Reddit.
I saw something somewhere, and I didn't list it as a source because it didn't seem credible, so this could just be an absolute rumor. So just throwing that out there.
I still like it.
Somebody said that they overheard a conversation that night with John and his dad asking if he could come help him move a body.
Excuse me?
So I don't know when that could have been, because that was never like, again, if that would have been told to police, I feel like that would be like a big piece of this.
Yeah, but people don't tell police information all the time.
So it's like, yeah, I don't know. That is not a legit thing. That is just something that I read. So yeah. I don't know. But definitely the dad was a person of interest. So, I mean, maybe phone records indicated that he called his dad that night. I don't know. You know, so it could have gone different ways. But yeah, both John and his dad were listed as a person of interest.
Weird.
Unfortunately.
I mean, they have to have... There's a reason.
Exactly.
I mean, the police obviously know something.
There's something, yeah. So Molly's dad died in 2005.
Aww.
Like a year and a half after she disappeared.
Wow.
Even when he was sick and dying, he was still organizing searches.
Oh.
Yeah. So at that point, they had nothing more than I've already told you. And actually, they don't ever get a lot more than what I've just told you already. But the family 100% believes, as would anybody with common sense, that John Shelton is responsible for her disappearance. And they had enough evidence, at least from their own investigations, where they couldn't get police to do anything. There was no criminal charges. They didn't have anything rock solid that, like, criminally could take care of this. but they were able to file a civil suit claiming that John and his dad, again, so they know more than like the public does, obviously, that John and his dad were responsible for her disappearance. So they filed a civil suit, took it to court.
Bold.
Neither John nor his dad came to the court to defend themselves. So
they're essentially getting sued, right?
They're getting sued, and they're basically like, and I read some things that there's like reasons, if you're guilty, it's best to not go to the civil suit.
Yeah.
Because any evidence could then, if you're under oath, you could say something that gets you in trouble, like all of these different reasons.
In which they then arrest you.
Exactly. Yeah. So John was actually in prison at the time and declined to go defend himself.
You have nothing else to do.
Exactly. So like that is a big red flag to
Seriously, that's like a field trip. Where are you going?
So he declined to go do it. Ed Shelton has pretty much been on the run ever since. I'm sorry, I said Shelton. Yeah, Shelton is correct. He has pretty much been on the run. Like he never came to court, and he has never really been anywhere in
avoiding
access this whole time.
So did they win?
So they won $3.5 million that the Shelton family now owes the Dattilo family.
I'm sure they'll never see a penny of it, but
they know that, and they've said like we understand we're not going to see anything, but we wanted
a win, though.
We wanted closure. We wanted somebody to be held accountable for this. Like if the police weren't going to do it, we wanted to take it in our own hands.
This case has been inside of a courtroom.
Yes,
and was found
that they were responsible.
Something enough to say that somebody was responsible.
Yes,
but the police don't have enough.
They don't have. I mean, again, at this point, you're talking about murder. So to get a murder conviction, like you have to have a lot.
I'm interested now, like
if you think about it, you don't have a body, you don't have a motive, you don't have a murder weapon.
Okay, but then how did they rule in their favor for a civil? Like I wasn't going to be researching the difference between civil suits
all it says is that they are responsible for her disappearance.
Yeah, well, if they are, then they should be getting charged with it by the police too. Like that's crazy. I just want to know what the difference is. Like,
sure. But
yeah, that's crazy. That so there's definitely people out there that believe there's enough to hold them accountable for it.
Yeah.
But not the police.
Yeah. And the only thing I can think of is like if you and I went on a trip to Oklahoma and I was like, yeah, she mouthed off a bunch, so I dropped her off in Missouri. Like really, I didn't commit a crime, but I would be responsible for your disappearance if nobody ever heard from you again. Okay. That's the only like way I can comprehend this. Which I didn't drop her off. She definitely did mouth off when we went to Oklahoma, but I didn't drop her off. Just putting that out there.
Actually, like, it's not. It could easily happen, y'all.
Whether you're a team of 1 or 1,000, Bo Digital can help make your marketing goals a reality.
Let's be honest, most of us who run our own businesses need help in the marketing category. Either you have no clue what an algorithm is or you just don't have time to mess with it, Bo can help you with that. They offer an a la carte menu of marketing services where you can take what you need. It can be your website, your socials, newsletters, or even blogs. Bo can help you take some of it off your plate and free up time for you to focus more on the things that you love. I personally use Bo Digital in my own small business, and I love them and the team that they have and the knowledge that they possess is far beyond anything that I could do on my own. If you're looking to grow your business, you have to put a bow on it. You can reach out to them on their website, bowdigital.com, or on Facebook, BOWE digital.com.
So the only thing that came out in the civil suit that the public was able to have access to that's like, oh, this is new information to the people that were paying attention to the case, was that apparently vomit was found in Shelton's car.
Oh.
Yeah. And so the theory is that that Molly and John had an argument or whatever, and that John strangled Molly, which would force vomit, and that his dad helped him get rid of the body. Again, no evidence outside of this vomit. I didn't see anything where they could rock solid prove that it was Molly's vomit, because I feel like that would have led to charges, right? Like that's evidence. So maybe, I don't know if he said, oh yeah, like something about the vomit. I don't know. But like I said, he was in prison at the time of this. He actually was released from prison for a short time in 2017. He went back very shortly after this little stint. So he's actually going to be in prison until 2038.
Oh.
So like he's in prison. Yeah. Unrelated charges. Huge rap sheet. Huge. Battery, theft, traffic violations. His license is suspended for life. He's been in trouble for driving anyways. Like he's drug offenses. Like he is in prison forever. I don't know if I told you this earlier, but he actually looks just like Andrew from Desperate Housewives, Bree's son.
Shut up.
Like he looks exactly like him.
Fun fact, I freaking love Desperate Housewives.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look him up now. He looks like you think so?
Yeah, I think he looks just like when I first saw it, I was like, that's an actor. Like, it's not. But yeah, it's John E. Shelton.
Okay.
Anyways, so his story didn't change. He actually talked to police in that stint in 2017. Or I'm sorry, he talked to a reporter. But he did not want cameras. He was very, like, annoyed by the whole thing. His only real quote was, you ready for this?
Yeah.
I was the only one dumb enough to admit I was with Molly that night.
Oh.
That's what he said.
Wow, he does look like Andrew.
Yeah, very much like him.
Oh, Molly's cute.
Yeah.
His dad looks like a creep.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, again, his story was still that he met her at the party, rowboat, Taco Bell. We went to this gas station where she made a call, and then I took her home.
She could have accidentally died if she, like, was really drunk and, like, throwing up or something maybe, too, and he just, like, got... I don't know. There's a lot of theories. There's a lot of possibilities. Like,
yeah. I just hate the payphone situation.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, and actually...
So he wouldn't have let her call a friend. It sounds like she wasn't distressed at that time, because why would he let her call a friend if he was...
Well, it's sketchy that the call ended. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I'll let you call a friend. Like, maybe she... I don't know. Like, to me, I'd feel much better if she had a conversation with her friend then.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the fact that she made a phone call and then it went dead, like, to me, that's super sketchy. But yeah, so, I don't know. I hate it. In 2017, the family actually had Molly legally declared dead. They believe fully, 100%, that he killed her. However, like, I still consider this a missing persons case. No criminal charges have ever been filed. There is no body. There's no murder weapon. There's no real motive there. This John guy sounds worthless, so, like, I hate advocating for him at all. But, like, if he took her home, like he said, like, all of her stuff would be at home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, that, like, I'm not defending
the other
him,
thing
but
that's horrible.
Like...
He literally could have taken her home, and then something else happened to her later that night. Like, easily.
It doesn't make... There's some things that don't make sense.
Know.
The payphone, though, that's so sketchy to me that I'm like, without the payphone thing, if he was like, yeah, we went to Taco Bell and I took her home, then it's like, I mean, everything lines up with that.
Yeah.
You know, except for the fact that she's not there. So, very weird to me. The payphone thing, definitely the
payphone thing to me doesn't freak me out, but I don't know. I mean, she left her cell phone at home. Maybe she was like, "Hey, I need to call my friend." But
it's the fact they left Taco Bell, went past the apartment complex to this gas station where she uses a payphone. The call doesn't go through, and she's never seen again.
Yeah,
that's the part that I don't like. Police don't buy it either.
Yeah,
police do not buy that at all. So the Molly's family, they sound like such sweet people. They actually worked with Project Jason. Do you remember Project Jason? Jason Jalkowski?
Yeah.
We did his case, a missing persons case, a month ago or so. I feel like the last couple months have been so fast that like it might have been more than 1 month.
More than a month ago.
But yeah, Jason Jalkowski, they had a project where it was basically speeding up missing persons cases for teens or younger people.
Young adults.
Yes. Where police usually say, I probably ran away.
Which that shouldn't even be a problem.
Right, and that was
such a freaking problem.
Was that in Iowa or Nebraska? I can't remember. It was somewhere in the Midwest.
Nebraska?
It wasn't Indiana. Molly was in Indiana.
Yeah.
So they in Indiana they came up with the Molly Dattilo law, which causes police to accept missing person cases immediately and identify high risk. They claim that in this case, they said this is not a priority. But in their minds, all of her stuff was home. This was a high risk thing. You can't just walk away from life necessities. Yeah.
Distinguish between, like an Amber Alert, there's like criteria that make it an immediate emergency or not. Whether that's how it qualifies for an Amber Alert or not, that needs to be a thing for anybody that's missing. Like if you have pieces of evidence that look sketchy, then it needs immediate attention.
Agreed. And so they fought for this, and they got the Molly Dattilo law, which is still it's still legislation in Indiana today.
Good.
Her sister lives out in Arizona, and she has fought for Arizona to adopt the same law. And other states have
they all should
have
have
either adopted this law or things like it.
Yeah.
And so, that's something that is important.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know the police are so busy. There's probably 1 million people that are missing.
And I'm sure,
quote unquote, missing.
I'm
people that are
sure-
concerned they haven't seen this person for a while. But there's a difference between I haven't seen this person for a while and I haven't seen this person for a while and there's blood droplets and her cell phone is here. You know what I mean? Like there's there's
sure.
2 big differences there.
Huge. And I can't imagine the amount of phone calls that police get of like when my boyfriend hasn't been here for days and they're like, yeah, your boyfriend left you. Like legit,
see?
And they spend their time and then they find out that they find the boyfriend. He's like, yeah, she was crazy, so I left. Like, I'm sure that happens. So I know it gets frustrating, but cases like this, it should have been an immediate thing. They didn't talk to the main suspect for 30 days. Like, you know what you can do in 30 days,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not going to happen anymore with these kind of cases. So good for her family for fighting for that. Good for her sister for fighting for it in Arizona, and the family just, they've made a difference. They have made a difference. They also started the Molly Dattilo Run and Walk 5K that honors her every year. So, they said she loved running from when she was a little girl. Obviously, she ran at EKU as a college athlete, and so, it's tough because they were so excited for their American Idol possible run, and it's just heartbreaking to know that it didn't happen. But by all accounts, everything I've read, she's talked about is just like the sweetest girl. They said that she would never let somebody sit by themselves at lunch.
Aww.
Like if she saw somebody sitting by themselves at lunch, like she was going to sit with them, and just sounds like an absolute sweetheart, spunky, full of life. So yeah, I just hate that this case turned out this way, and that they've never been able to bring any charges. But the family was like, "Screw your charges! Like we're going after a civil suit. We're going to get them held responsible." Yeah,
I hate all of that case actually.
Yeah,
and the fact that just she's never been found and she's out there somewhere.
Yeah, he's in prison until 2038, so hopefully he slips up and says something, and somebody's able to get more.
Yeah,
it's like based on how much the police said they did not like his story, I feel like they're close. They can't go for a murder conviction until it's like locked in. And they have until 2038 right now.
They know, they know where he's at.
Yeah. So, if you hear anything, if somebody knows something, even if it's just him and his dad, somebody knows something. So,
well, even like you said, somebody heard him talking at the party that night. Somebody else probably did too. So,
right.
Speak up, say something.
Someone knows something. This podcast is a So.Will.I.Studos production. So will I.
Are you looking to buy or sell in 2024? Let Amber White help you find your home sweet home. Amber is a local realtor to the Kokomo and Howard County area, and when I say she knows her stuff, she knows her stuff. When we decided to move closer to family, I literally messaged Amber and told her I wanted to sell my house, and then later I want to buy this house, and she made it all happen. Buying and selling is such an overwhelming process, but Amber seriously took care of every single step and eliminated all the stress for us. Her knowledge was invaluable, and while I say I never want to move again, I know exactly who to call if we decide to. Follow her on Facebook at Amber White, Realtor /broker with Carrie Gruhl and Associates, or you can give her a call at 765-865-1118.